Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive.
Wow.
This time we're going to be tackling Adele Rivella's buyer personas.
Okay.
It's a pretty comprehensive look at understanding your customer and crafting marketing messages that resonate. So they really hit the mark.
Yeah.
And Rivella kicks things off with a pretty interesting cautionary tale.
It is, it's fascinating how she highlights the dangers of assumptions right from the get-go.
Oh, yeah.
She uses this really vivid example of Apple's iPhone 3G launch in Japan
Now, hold on.
in 2007.
Apple.
Yeah.
A flop. I mean,
Yeah.
how is that even possible?
Well, back in 2007,
Okay.
Japanese consumers were really into like video calls and watching TV on their phones.
Right. Yeah.
And so when Apple launched the iPhone 3G there,
Yeah.
it didn't even have a video camera.
Oh, wow.
They totally missed the mark on a core consumer need.
Yeah.
And their sales reflected that.
So even a giant like Apple can stumble when they don't really understand what their customers are looking for.
Yeah.
So, it's a good reminder for all of us. But Rivella doesn't just focus on the negative.
No.
Right.
No, not at all.
She offers some inspiring success stories too,
Yeah.
like the Turkish appliance company,
Oh, right.
Biko's launch of a clothes dryer in China.
Yes.
So what did they do that was so different?
Okay, so before launching the dryer in China, Beko did their homework.
Okay.
They interviewed potential customers.
Yeah.
And they uncovered a cultural preference for sun-drying clothes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, a lot of people in China believe that there's kind of a spiritual connection
Okay.
between clothes and sunlight.
Wow.
So instead of just trying to push their product
Right.
and ignore this belief, they decided to incorporate it.
Wow.
They designed a dryer
Yeah.
that actually had a pause function specifically for sun drying.
So they actually incorporated this like cultural belief
Yeah.
into the product design. That is so smart.
Right. It's brilliant.
It seems like doing your research really paid off for them.
Oh, absolutely.
They're big time.
Yeah, they turned a potential cultural barrier into a major selling point.
Wow.
And their sales skyrocketed.
Yeah, bet.
Both of these examples, I think, really highlight why understanding customer needs is just essential.
Yes.
It's the foundation for product development
Yeah.
and marketing success.
And this is where Rivella introduces this idea of buyer personas, right?
Right.
So what are they and why are they so valuable?
Okay, so buyer personas,
Yeah.
they go beyond, just basic demographics like age, gender, location.
Right.
They paint a much more detailed picture
Okay.
of your ideal customer.
Okay.
So they provide insights into your customers' needs, their
Yeah.
problems, their goals, even their thinking patterns.
Wow.
It's about getting into their heads.
Oh, that's interesting.
So you can tailor both solutions and messaging to resonate with each specific group.
Oh, okay. So you're not just kind of speaking to everybody.
Yeah.
You're speaking to these very specific groups.
Exactly.
Oh, I see.
It's about creating these targeted messages
Yeah.
that really speak to their needs.
It's almost like having a cheat sheet
Yeah, kind of.
for connecting with your target audience.
Absolutely.
It reminds me of the story Rivella shares
Ah.
about Reese McKenna and his work with pocket calculators.
Yes, the pocket calculator story.
So tell me about that.
All right, so McKenna, he was observing customers.
Yeah.
And he noticed that they consistently chose heavier calculators,
Really?
even though at the time,
Yeah.
smaller ones were considered more advanced.
I wouldn't think the weight would be a factor.
Right. It's counterintuitive
Yeah.
in choosing a calculator.
Yeah. You would think that smaller, sleeker
Yeah.
would be better.
Yeah, exactly.
But it turns out
Yeah.
people were unconsciously associating weight with quality.
Oh, wow.
So he advised his client
Yeah.
to actually make their calculators heavier. And guess what? Sales went up.
Oh, well. People were willing to pay more
Really?
for a heavier calculator.
That's so interesting. It really highlights how easily we can misinterpret customer behavior if we don't really investigate a little further.
If you just skim the surface,
Yeah.
you can miss out on those key insights.
So it seems like buyer personas could really help shine a light on some of those blind spots
Of the sex.
so we can avoid those pitfalls.
They help us replace that guesswork
Right.
with data-driven understanding,
Yeah.
which leads to more effective marketing strategies.
Now, convincing stakeholders to embrace a new approach,
Right?
like buyer personas, can sometimes be a challenge.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. People are often resistant to change.
Yeah, change can be scary.
So what does Rivella suggest we do to get buy-in
Okay, so
from those who might be a little skeptical of buyer personas.
she suggests role-playing during meetings
Okay.
with stakeholders.
All right, so you get everybody in a room
Yeah.
and you say,
All right, everybody.
let's pretend we're the customer.
Exactly.
Okay.
Ask them to step into the shoes of the customer
All right, yeah.
and answer questions about their buying process.
I can see how that would be helpful.
Yeah.
But I can also see how that could get a little, people might not really take it seriously.
Right.
How do you make sure?
Well, that's where you got to gently guide the conversation.
Okay.
You'll probably hear vague assumptions like, our product's the best,
Yeah.
we have the lowest prices.
Right.
And then you can gently counter,
Yeah.
by pointing out that
Right.
if those statements were entirely true,
Right.
wouldn't the company be dominating the market?
Oh.
It
Right.
kind of exposes the gaps in their logic
Yeah.
and highlights the need
Right.
for a deeper customer understanding.
Okay, so you're using their own assumptions against them
Kind of, yeah.
to demonstrate the value of this buyer persona approach.
Exactly.
That's pretty clever. Right.
Okay, so you got everyone on board.
Okay.
Now, where do you even begin?
Okay.
Where do you find the right people to interview?
Ravella recommends a two-pronged approach.
Okay.
You want to start internally.
Right.
Your sales team
Yeah.
is a goldmine of information.
Right.
These are the people who are interacting with customers every single day.
They're on the front lines,
Yeah.
hearing about customer needs.
Exactly.
Exactly.
They likely already have, existing customer data,
Right.
knowledge of potential leads,
Okay.
insights into why deals are won or lost.
Okay, so you're saying start with your internal database.
Absolutely.
But it's also important to reach beyond your existing customer base.
Yes, definitely.
You want to understand.
You want to understand your potential market as well.
So how do you do that?
That's where external sources come in.
Oh,
Things
yeah.
like research agencies, industry events, online communities.
Right.
All of these can help you reach a wider audience. Okay.
Including those not yet familiar with your company.
So you're getting those diverse perspectives.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's essential for creating well-rounded personas.
What about B2B companies,
Ah, yes. B2B.
where the purchasing decisions often involve multiple people?
Right. It's more complex.
How do you navigate that?
So in a B2B context,
Yeah.
you want to focus on interviewing the researchers,
Okay.
the people who are deeply involved in evaluating solutions
Right.
and influencing buying decisions.
Within their organization.
Yeah, they hold a wealth of knowledge
Okay.
about the needs and pain points
Makes sense.
within their companies.
All right, so you've assembled this pool of interviewees,
Okay.
and now it's time to conduct these interviews.
Time to get to work.
What's the key to asking the right questions?
The key is active listening.
Okay.
It's about creating a safe space for interviewees
Yeah.
to share their experiences openly and honestly.
Right.
Ravella suggests starting with a very specific question.
Okay, what is it?
Tell me about the morning you realized you needed your solution.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's a powerful question
Yeah.
because it allows the interviewee to tell their story in
Right.
their own words.
And it reveals that specific trigger
Yeah,
that set them on this path to seeking a solution
exactly.
instead of just, leading them on with a bunch of questions.
You're letting them guide the conversation.
Oh, that's clever.
And then by actively listening and picking up on keywords, you can ask those follow-up questions
Right.
to delve deeper
Okay.
and understand their underlying motivations.
Well, for example, if somebody mentions ROI,
Yeah,
you wouldn't just move on.
right, exactly.
You would ask them to elaborate on what ROI means
Yeah.
to them
In their specific context.
in their specific context.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
It's about understanding those nuances
Yeah.
of their needs.
And what drives their decision making.
Exactly.
So as you collect all these valuable insights, you need a framework to organize them.
Right. You need a way to make sense of it all.
And that's where Ravella's 5 rings of buying insights come in.
The 5 rings, yes.
Okay, so tell me about these 5 rings.
Okay, so Ravella connects this to an old Egyptian saying,
All right.
do you know so-and-so?
Okay.
Yes. Did you hobnob with him?
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Well, then you don't know him.
Oh, I like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Just knowing someone's name doesn't mean you truly understand them.
Right.
You need to spend time with them, have conversations, and really get to know their experiences.
So it's about moving beyond that surface level
Yes.
understanding.
Exactly.
Oh.
And each of these 5 rings explores a different facet of the
Okay.
customer journey.
So tell me about them.
All right, the first ring
Yeah.
is priority initiative.
Okay.
This explores why some buyers are actively seeking out solutions like yours, while others are perfectly content with the status quo.
Oh, so it's about understanding what motivates people to make a change.
What drives them to action?
Okay, so what are the other rings?
Okay, ring number 2 is success factors.
Right.
So this is all about understanding the specific outcomes
Yeah.
your buyer persona expects to achieve
Okay.
by choosing your solution. Are they looking for increased efficiency,
Right.
cost reduction,
Yeah.
improved customer satisfaction,
Okay.
or something else entirely?
Right. So we got the why.
Yeah.
We got the what.
The what? Okay, ring number 3,
Yeah.
perceived barriers.
Oh.
Now, this is where we explore any obstacles or concerns that might prevent someone from adopting your solution.
Yeah.
They might be worried about implementation challenges,
Okay.
security risks,
Right.
or even just the hassle of switching from their current provider.
So it's like anticipating those objections
Exactly.
before they even come up.
You want to be prepared to address them.
Okay, what about the 4th ring?
All right, ring number 4
Yeah.
is the buyer's journey.
Oh, okay.
This maps out their entire decision-making process.
You're like from start to finish.
From the moment they realize they have a need to the moment they make that final purchase decision.
Okay, and what do we need to know about that journey?
We need to understand who the key influencers are,
Okay.
what information sources they rely on,
Yeah.
and how they evaluate different options.
So it's about understanding the steps they take,
Yes.
the people they consult, and the criteria they use
Absolutely.
to make that final decision.
It's about getting that holistic view.
Okay, so we've got 4 rings down.
Almost there.
What about that 5th and final ring?
Okay, ring number 5
Yeah.
is decision criteria.
Okay.
And this is where we get really granular.
Right.
We identify the specific features,
Yeah.
functionalities, or benefits
Okay.
that matter most
Right here.
to each buyer persona.
Yeah. So it's like creating a checklist
Yeah.
of what they're looking
Yeah.
for in an ideal solution.
It's about understanding what makes them tick.
So by gathering insights for each of these 5 rings,
Yes.
you're creating this really comprehensive understanding.
You're painting a detailed picture
Yeah.
of your ideal customer.
That goes beyond just basic demographics.
It's about understanding their motivations, their fears, their aspirations.
This is a lot to unpack.
It-
Conducting all these interviews,
Mhm.
you'd end up with a mountain of data.
A mountain of data.
How do you even begin to make sense of it all?
That's where we move from gathering information to organizing and synthesizing it.
Right.
It can feel a little overwhelming,
Yeah, a little bit.
but Ravella, she gives some really great advice on
Alright.
how to approach this analysis.
Yeah.
She emphasizes the importance of maintaining objectivity
Okay.
as you're working through all of this data
Right.
from your interviews.
So it's about like letting the data guide you and being open to discovering things
Exactly.
that might challenge your preconceived notions.
You don't want to just cherry pick
What?
the information that supports your existing biases.
Yeah. Yeah.
The goal is to let the data speak for itself
Right.
and uncover those unexpected truths
That makes sense.
that might surprise you.
But how do you go about organizing this data
Okay, so
in a way that allows those truths to emerge?
Ravella suggests consolidating your findings
Okay.
into a cohesive narrative. For each of the 5 rings,
Right, Dad?
you're looking for common threads and key insights
Okay.
that emerge from the interviews.
So instead of having like 20 different stories
Oh,
from
yeah.
20 different interviews,
Yeah,
you kind of create this unified story
exactly.
that represents the collective voice of
Yeah.
each buyer persona.
And to make those insights really stand out,
Okay.
Ravella recommends using memorable quotes from your interviews,
Okay.
clearly identifying who said them, and then creating a concise headline
Yeah.
that encapsulates the essence
Oh, God.
of each quote.
That's a great idea.
So you're basically creating a highlight reel
Right.
of the most powerful customer statements.
Can you give me an example of what that might look like?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Imagine you're analyzing
Yeah.
the decision criteria ring,
Okay.
and you come across this quote from the head of marketing at a potential client.
Okay.
Let's call him Tony.
All right, Tony.
Tony says,
Yeah.
I don't want to waste money creating a solution from scratch.
Okay.
I want something that already exists, but that we can easily adapt
Yeah.
to our specific needs.
So that tells you
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot about what Tony's looking for.
It does.
He values ease of use
Mm-hmm.
and the ability to customize the solution
Exactly.
to fit his needs.
You would attribute the quote to Tony
Okay.
and then add a headline that sums up the key takeaway,
Okay.
such as
Yeah.
ease of usability.
Right. Okay. It's that simple.
And it seems like this structured approach would make it so much easier
It does.
to spot patterns
Yes.
and extract those actionable insights.
It transforms raw interview data
Right.
into organized knowledge
Sure.
that you can then use
Right.
to inform your marketing strategies.
Okay, so we've gathered our insights.
Okay.
We've crafted our buyer personas.
Mhm.
We've analyzed the 5 rings.
We've done the work.
Now it's time to bring it all together.
And I'm
Connect
yeah.
those customer needs
Yeah.
to compelling marketing messages.
The fun part.
So where do we even start?
Okay, so Ravella,
Yeah.
she suggests that we move beyond
Mm.
generic claims like we're the best
Right.
or we're the cheapest.
Okay.
Instead, it's about addressing
Okay.
these specific concerns and aspirations
Right.
that you uncovered through your buyer persona research.
So it's about showing your potential customers
Yeah.
that you really understand their pain points
Yeah.
and that you're offering a solution that
Exactly.
aligns with their specific needs.
She suggests a 3-step process.
Okay.
First,
Yeah.
you create a capabilities list
Okay.
outlining the strengths and features
Mhm.
of your solution.
So it's like taking inventory
Yeah.
of everything your product or service has to offer.
Okay, what's next?
Right. What's next?
Then you create a buyer expectations list
Okay.
based on the insights gleaned from your interviews.
Mm-hmm.
This list distills the key things
Okay.
your buyer personas are looking for
Got it.
in a solution.
So essentially, we're creating 2 distinct lists.
Yeah.
One showcasing what we offer,
Right.
and the other highlighting what our customers actually want.
And here's where the magic happens.
Okay.
You identify the areas
Yeah.
where those 2 lists intersect.
So you're pinpointing
Oh, got it.
the areas where your capabilities
Mm-hmm.
perfectly match customer expectations.
Yes.
That's brilliant.
Those points of intersection
Yeah.
become the foundation
Okay.
for your targeted marketing messages.
That's a brilliant approach.
It is.
You're not just talking about your product in a vacuum.
Yeah.
You're directly addressing
You're speaking their language.
those specific needs and desires
Yeah.
that your target audience has expressed.
This helps you move away
Yeah.
from that one-size-fits-all approach
Right.
to a more tailored strategy
Yeah.
that speaks directly
Okay.
to each buyer persona,
All right.
making your marketing messages far more persuasive.
This has been a really insightful deep dive.
It has.
I'm already thinking about
Yeah.
some assumptions I might be making
Yeah.
about my own audience.
It's a good reminder
Yeah, it's a powerful reminder.
to never stop questioning.
To never stop questioning what we think we know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It really is a journey of constantly learning and refining what,
It is.
we've covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah.
From, the pitfalls of assumptions
Mm-hmm.
to the power of these buyer personas.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And those 5 rings of buying insights.
The 5 rings.
What stands out to you as we wrap up our deep dive into buyer personas?
I think what resonates with me the most is this idea of continuous learning and adaptation.
Yeah.
The business landscape is constantly changing, right?
Right.
And customer needs are evolving right along with it.
So it's not enough to just create these personas once
Right.
and then just file them away.
No, you got to dust them off.
You got to keep coming back.
Every now and then,
Yeah.
you got to revisit them, refine them, update them, just
Yeah.
to make sure they're still accurate.
So that ties back to that idea of
It does.
questioning our assumptions,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
We need to constantly be challenging what we think we know
Challenging ourselves, yeah.
about our customers
Mm-hmm.
and seeking out new insights.
The moment we think we have it all figured out, that's when we become vulnerable
Yeah,
to those same pitfalls.
to making those assumptions.
That can lead us down the wrong path.
Yeah.
It sounds like embracing curiosity
Yes.
and staying open to new information.
Being open-minded
Yeah.
is really the key to staying ahead of the curve.
And that's what makes this work so exciting.
It is.
We're not just following some set formula.
Yeah.
We're engaging in this dynamic process
It's a journey.
of discovery.
It is.
I like that.
And remember,
Yeah.
you're not alone on this journey.
Right.
Adele Ravella's book.
Yeah.
It provides really valuable guidance,
It does.
and there's so many resources available
Yeah.
to support you
To help you along the way.
in implementing these concepts.
And to our listener,
Yes.
we encourage you to dive into buyer personas.
Give it a read.
Yeah, and apply these insights to your own work.
You might be surprised.
Who knows what you might discover
Yeah,
about your own customers
about your audience.
and how you can better connect with them.
Absolutely.
It's been a pleasure
Likewise.
really diving deep into this with you.
I've enjoyed it.
And to our listeners,
Yes.
thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We hope this has given you some actionable takeaways
Mm-hmm.
and inspired you to think differently about your customers.
Yeah.
Till next time,
Until next time.
keep those brains buzzing.